Shri Vasudevaya. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
Translation. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what his influences are.
Tat kshetram idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti avidhiyat. Krishna has already explained. Kshetra means idam shariram. Shariram means this body. Tat kshetram. First of all, you have to understand this body or any field of action, anywhere, the three things are there. The field of activities, the owner of the field, and the supervisor of the field. You can check and tally anywhere. So Krishna says, Kshetragam jo chapi vidhi. There are two Kshetragam and one Kshetra. One field of activity and two personalities, Kshetragam. One is to be supposed as occupier and the other is supposed to be the owner. Just like in this house, we are occupier. The house is Kshetra, field of activities. The landlord is the owner and we are the occupier. Two Kshetragam. This property is interest for two persons. One is the occupier and the other is the owner. Similarly, anywhere, any part of the world, anywhere you go, you will find these three things. One, the field of activities, and the other two means one occupier and one owner. If one understands these three things, and he can study everywhere these three things, then kshetra gayo jad jnanam, this knowledge, to understand everywhere that there is a field of activity and two persons are interested in that field of activity. One is the owner, other is the occupier. If you study these three things only, then tad jnanam, that is knowledge. Otherwise all rascals and fools. That's all. Matam mama. This is jnana. But ask anybody at the present moment, who is the owner, who is the occupier, and what is the field of activities. If you ask three things, nobody will be able to answer. That means everyone is rascal at the present, but they do not know. Kshetra gayo jad jnanam. Krishna says, this relationship between the field of action and the owner, just like in agriculture, the land is owned by the state or the king, and it is rented or occupied by somebody else. And the land is the field of action. So, Krishna is giving direction. Krishna is giving direction and the living entity is there. He is acting according to that direction. So both Krishna and the living entity are sitting in one tree. That is stated in the Upanishad. The two birds are sitting in one tree. One is eating the fruit of the tree and other is simply witnessing. The witnessing bird is Krishna, and the bird who is eating the fruits of the tree, he is the living entity. The Mayavadi philosopher, they cannot distinguish between the Jiva soul, Jivatma and Paramatma. They know it, but because they are monist, to establish their theory, they say there is no two, there is one. No. Krishna says, two. One Kshetrajna, the Jivatma, and the other Kshetrajna, he is Krishna. The difference between the two is that the individual living entity knows only about his Kshetra or body, but the other living entity, the supreme living entity, he knows all the bodies. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.